Hey guys, welcome back to Bright Night Tech. My name is Berto and today we are modding our very first Gameboycolor. That's right, we are doing an IPS Q5 screen on it. It's a pretty simple mod, but it's my first time doing it, so we'll see how it goes. But enough talk, let's get started. Alright, here is the Gameboycolor we will be modding today, and here is the Q5 IPS screen we will be installing. And it came with this lovely glass cover that will replace the current one on there. And here are some 3D printed guides that I printed myself. These are actually part of a different kit, but the file is online, so I went ahead and printed them because I knew they would help me. Alright, here is the kit. You can see the screen, all the board, the wires. It looks kind of complicated, but it's actually a fairly easy mod to do. But let's see how I mess it up. I'm just kidding. I won't mess it up, right, guys? Right? So here is the Gameboycolor. As you can see, I already took out the screws because I was testing this good board against a bad board to see the difference. But let me pop in some batteries so you can see that it indeed does work. Boom. Beautiful. This Game Boy, that's some tape residue right there. This Game Boy is actually in really, really good condition. I really lucked out with this, and I love that teal color. I never owned a Gameboycolor before, so I'm really excited. Alright, so since the screws are already out, we're just going to pop that out now and take the board out for inspection, and so we can clean it. So we want to remove the screws right here. Boom. Alright, there's 3 of them, but I'm just cutting for time's sake. Alright, as you can see, there's a tiny bit of corrosion near the battery terminals. We're going to take care of that in a second. But for the most part, it's actually a really, really good board. It's in really good condition. So right now what I'm doing, I'm brushing some vinegar on those corroded areas to kind of help get that off and clean it. You could just use alcohol, but using that vinegar is really going to help clean it out a little bit better. We're going to take out the terminals from the other side, and as you can see, they are very, very badly corroded. Especially that back end right there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to dump it into our vinegar right here. We're going to let it sit there for a little while it cleans up, and then we'll see what it looks like. Alright, this is about 10-15 minutes. As you can see, the back is pretty bad, but this clean part right here, that's the part I care about. So it doesn't matter to me that that's not pretty. Alright, now we're going to take some alcohol here, and we are going to clean the board itself. So we're going to go ahead and brush it all through, make sure everything's clean, looks beautiful, just like that. Alright, now it's the case's turn. We're going to take this case, we're going to put in some warm soapy water, take out these membranes and buttons, and then we're going to remove the old screen. Now you want to be very, very careful. You're going to want to grab the shell and you're going to want to twist very, very lightly in order to release that adhesive from the screen. You might hear a little crack, and hopefully you didn't break it, but it usually just means you're releasing the screen. So just be very, very careful not to overdo it. And as you can see, there we go. I did not break it. Beautiful screen right there. Okay, now we're going to dump all of this into this warm soapy water and hopefully slowly remove that glass screen cover right there. But let's give the rest of it a quick little brush, clean out anything. Like I said, it's actually in really good condition. It wasn't disgusting or anything, so really lucked out on that. Alright, now you're going to gently push on the glass to release it. Be very, very careful because you don't want to break it. If you want to have a spare later for a different project, you definitely could have that. But there you go, and it is released, looking good. Alright, here it is, all nice and beautifully clean, looking good. Alright, now we are gonna cut the frame around that plastic right there. You're gonna take some an X-Acto knife and start scoring it, and then I took some pliers and slowly started breaking off the plastic. Be very careful, you don't want to take off more than necessary. You don't want to get rid of those screw holes. You're just scoring and slowly taking some pliers or tweezers and breaking that plastic off. So here I've taken all that plastic off, but we are going to go ahead and file it to get it nice and flush and smooth so it does not harm the screen once you install it. So I'm just going through with my file and making sure it is nice and flush and smooth. Here we go. As you can see, I did a pretty good job. All nice and smooth. That will hopefully not harm the IPS screen that we're going to install. Okay, now for the next part, you're going to take this guide. I'll put the link below to Thingiverse of where I got these files, but you're going to stick it right on there, and that little green part, that is the extra part you want to cut. So you're going to take your X-Acto knife again and just keep scoring over and over on the same area, and you're going to do the same thing on the other sides. And then you're going to take your pliers and you're going to go ahead and slowly pry those parts off. You want to cut a corner first so you have an area to kind of start pulling from, but be very, very careful. Again, you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to rip off more than you need to or crack the whole shell. Once you got that, you're going to take a file and kind of smooth it out. I did a terrible job, as you can see. It's like all uneven now when I started taking this file, and it left a lot of little chunks everywhere. Doesn't look great. But let's work on the board now. So it has A, B, select, and it's we're just going to go ahead and connect the wires that it comes with to each of those areas. You don't have to do this part, but if you want control over that OSD menu, you definitely want to do that. And then you're going to connect it to the corresponding parts, P10, P11, and P12 to the corresponding areas, A, B, and select on the board there. All right. Now, I tried to use the 3D printed guides to put the screen on there, but it actually ended up not really fitting. It was like too tight. So I went ahead and put on the adhesive, which I don't normally do because once you get that on there, you're not going to be able to move the screen. But in this case, because it has that OSD menu where you can move the image, I'm not terribly concerned about it. So you're going to very carefully line up the screen and firmly push it onto that adhesive so it does not move around. And now you have the board right there. Now it does come with these insulating films, and it tells you exactly which one it goes to. So I'm going to put this one right here, and that's going to protect it from any shorting, so it's not going to hurt that board. And then you're going to push the board over, and it comes with its own. So then you're going to press that one right there. Perfect. These are the touch sensors for the brightness and for the color palette and pixelation effect. And you're just going to put those on each corner like that. Next, we're going to put the buttons back and the membranes just like this. And then we're going to fold over the rest of the board and close it up. Now, one thing that I kind of messed up on is that I didn't cut the wires in order to make them fit better. I have a lot of extra slack that I don't need, but at this point I already soldered them to the board and it's fine. It's not going to cause a huge problem. So now we're going to go ahead and screw this back on, get that ribbon connected like so. Make sure when you put the case on, you're not pinching any wires. Putting in battery, let's see how it looks. Beautiful! Look how bright and colorful that is. I'm super happy with the way that looks. Although that looks super janky when you look at the front because I messed up on that filing. But we're gonna go ahead and put the screen protector on here, and hopefully that helps hide any imperfections. You know, carefully line it up like so, and then firmly push down for that adhesive to grab on. And as you can see, it looks pretty good, but you can see some of the jagged edges that I left because I did not file it great. Alright, so as you saw, mine came with no battery cover, so I got this one aftermarket on Handheld Legend, and as you can see, the teal color isn't perfect, but it'll do in this case. Alright, let's try this out with some Pokemon Yellow and see what it looks like. So we're going to turn that on. We already saw this bit. Looks good. And here we go. Let's see how it handles. I like some color there. Looks good. There's Pikachu. There's a bright Pikachu right there. Alright, so this is the brightness You just touch to change it. You want to push and hold and it'll turn off that pixelation effect, and you push and hold again and it will turn it back on. Depends on what you want to play with. Alright, you want to hold A, B, and select, and you will get this OSD menu where you can change brightness, screen position, turn on the pixelation on and off, but you can do that with the touch sensor. But here you go. I think it looks great. Alright, and there you go. I think it looks great. Obviously, not the cleanest thing. I didn't do the best job in filing it down the little window part for the screen. Kind of too late to fix it now because I put the adhesive where I put the screen on, and if I try to remove that, I could damage it, and I definitely can't take the glass off at this point. So there's definitely some little specks of plastic on it. Overall, I think I did okay. I just need to work on my cleanup, but I think it looks really good. I'm looking forward to playing some Pokemon Silver on it, and it was a fairly simple mod, so I know exactly what to do and what not to do for next time. Hardest part was definitely trimming the inside of the shell to make room for that IPS screen, but overall I had a good time and I'm gonna have fun playing with it. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, go ahead and put in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button for notifications. And if you want to check out any of my other videos, go ahead and click on them. And we will see you next time.